Ciao a tutti, benvenuti al Facile come Italiano. Hello everybody, welcome to Easy as Italian. I'm Reza and we've come here to finally finish the conditional tenses in Italian language. Well, if you remember about 3 or 4 days ago, we have had a session about the conditional present, right? We talked about it, a tense that makes, kind of delivers the uncertainty of our sentences, right? Now, today, we want to talk about the only part of conditional left, the conditional perfect, okay, that we use would have in English for that, okay? It's pretty easy. If you remember, in 3 or 4 days ago that we talked about the conditional present, we said that conditional present is just like a copy from the homeworks of futuro semplice, just we have changed the endings so the teacher wouldn't doubt us, okay? As easy as that. We talked about it, we learned the structure, we learned how to use it and stuff. Now about conditional perfect, we say it's exactly the copy of the homeworks of passato prossimo. Passato prossimo. Just we have changed the beginning so the teacher wouldn't doubt us. So, passato prossimo, how was it? Well, in passato prossimo, we had an auxiliary verb, we had a main verb, right? Auxiliary verb, main verb. Now, auxiliary verb was essere or avere. Main verb would come in the past participle form of itself, right? Now, I said that conditional perfect is a copy of it, just we changed the beginning. What is the beginning? Well, in passato prossimo, the auxiliary verb avere or essere comes in present indicative conjugation, okay? That would be o, I, a, abbiamo, avete, hanno for avere, and sono, sei, è, siamo, siete, sono is for essere. Present indicative, we don't have anything to do with it, we would throw it away. For now at least. So I said we changed the beginning. So in conditional perfect, instead of bringing avere and essere from the present indicative conjugation, we would bring it from the conditional present conjugation. That for avere was avrei, avresti, avrebbe, avremmo, avreste, avrebbero. And for essere, it was sarei, saresti, sarebbe, saremmo, sareste, sarebbero. So avrei, avresti, avrebbe, avremmo, avreste, avrebbero, sarei, saresti, sarebbe, saremmo, sareste, sarebbero. As easy as that. And what about the rest? For the rest, we just do whatever we used to do during passato prossimo. Exactly everything we used to do during passato prossimo. Even all the rules come from passato prossimo. I mean, like the rules about how can we choose avere or essere. Which one should we choose? We had the rules in passato prossimo, right? Everything is just passato prossimo. The only thing that changes is that we bring avere or essere from the conditional present conjugation. So if you don't know passato prossimo, go back to the session. I'll put the link here. Go back to the session and learn passato prossimo and the rules of it so you can learn conditional perfect. Now, we would have just a review over them. We had, for example, the thing about when and where can we choose avere or where can we choose essere. We used to say if our main verb shows a movement, or better to say in a professional way, doesn't have any object, then we use essere. Before that, if our main verb doesn't show a movement or has an object, then we use avere. For that, we used to say if our verb comes always with a reflexive objective pronoun, we put it in the essere group, okay? And we used to say, for example, if we are using a modal verb, then infinitive, the infinitive after the modal verb would indicate the thing that which one should we use, essere or avere, okay? So the infinitive would tell us, we would look at the infinitive to get to know when to use avere and when to use essere, okay? If the infinitive shows a movement or doesn't have an object, then essere. If the infinitive doesn't show a movement or has an object, then avere. Just a review over the rules about how to choose avere and how to choose essere. I mean, where to choose avere and where to choose essere. So now let's go for an example. For example, I say, avrei lavorato con tuo cugino. Avrei lavorato con tuo cugino. So, avrei, well, first pronoun singular, avrei, right? Lavorato comes from lavorare, to work, the past participle. Lavorato, so avrei lavorato, I have worked, I would have worked, okay? Con, with, tuo cugino, your cousin, okay? So I would have worked with your cousin. I would have worked with your cousin. Avrei lavorato con tuo cugino. As is just that. Very, very, very simple example to get how it's done. Another example, for example, le ha detto che sarebbe venuta. A combination with passato prossimo. Lei ha detto, she said. Well, you know passato prossimo. I don't have to open it for you anymore. Le ha detto, she said, che, that, sarebbe venuta. So, sarebbe, third pronoun singular. Venuta comes from venire, that means to come. It's a verb that shows a movement. It's a verb that doesn't have any object, so we use essere before that. Sarebbe, okay? Sarebbe venuta. It's she, lei, right? So it wouldn't be venuto, it would be venuta. Remember, when we are using essere as the auxiliary verb, our main verb can change its ending depending on the plurality or the gender of our subjects, right? It was among the rules again. Told you, if you don't know passato prossimo, go back to that session and watch it over. So, le ha detto che sarebbe venuta. She said that sarebbe venuta. She would have come. She said that she would have come. As easy as that. Okay? Let's see another example. I said when we are using a verb that has a reflexive objective pronoun with it, we have to use essere before that, right? So let's work with sentirsi right now, something we use a lot. Sentirsi, to hear, or no, sorry, sentirsi, to feel, sentire, to hear. Sentirsi, to feel. We say, for example, si sarebbe sentito meglio. Si sarebbe sentito meglio. Si sarebbe sentito meglio. Si, reflexive objective pronoun. Sarebbe, third pronoun singular, essere. Okay, we use essere. Sentito comes from sentirsi. So he would have felt. He would have felt meglio, better. And as verb, he would have felt better. Si sarebbe sentito meglio. He would have felt better. Easy. Let's see two more examples and it's finished. So we have sareste arrivati in tempo. Sareste arrivati in tempo. Sareste, second pronoun plural. Okay? Arrivati comes from arrivare, to arrive, that shows a movement and doesn't have any object, so we use essere before that. Sareste, sareste arrivati. Arrivati, plural. Why? Second pronoun plural, sareste. Okay? Sareste arrivati. You would have arrived in tempo, in time. You would have arrived in time. Perfect. Now, let's see the last example. Saremmo morti. Saremmo morti. Saremmo, first pronoun, plural. Okay, we would have. Morti comes from morire, to die. Okay, morire, to die. It's a verb that shows movement, or better to say, it doesn't have an object. So, saremmo morti. We would have died. Saremmo morti. We would have died. Okay, and this is the conditional perfect. I hope you have learned it. Well, if you have some doubts, if you have still some questions about some parts, I'm all yours. Just text me in the comments and tell me your questions. I will try to answer them in the comments. If it was too complicated, I would just make a complete video about it. Don't worry, I'm right here for you. So please feel free to ask me the questions. And now here we want to say goodbyes. But before that, remember to subscribe the channel if you are not subscribed yet, and also like the video to support me for the next contents to come. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have fun.